There are several types of tasty frostings and icings, such as buttercream, whipped cream, cream cheese, and glaze. Some frostings vary on the amount of sugar and butter that is added, making some slightly healthier than others. Buttercream is one of the most popular frostings. It is rich, creamy and fluffy, making it loved by many. Buttercream is generally made up of confectioner's sugar, butter, vanilla, and milk or heavy cream. Most buttercreams average 140 to 230 calories and contain 5 to 15 grams of fat per serving. Serving sizes for buttercreams are 2 tablespoons. Most of the fat and calories from buttercream frosting come from the butter and sugar, which is what gives the frosting the flavor. Buttercream frosting may contain more calories and fat depending on the ingredients that are called for in that specific recipe. This icing has a lighter and fluffier consistency than buttercream frosting. It is generally less rich than buttercream, which some people prefer. Whipped icing can be made in several different ways. Some recipes include heavy cream, where others include cream cheese. Some other recipes even contain pudding mix or gelatin. Since most whipped icing recipes do not contain butter, many people assume that it is healthier than buttercream. However, this is often not the case. Though it may not contain butter, whipped icing generally has just as much, if not more, calories than buttercream. Most whipped icings generally have between 200 to 350 calories and 15 to 30 grams of fat per serving for 2 tablespoons. If you are making homemade frosting, whether buttercream or whipped, it will generally be more calories than store-bought frosting. Homemade frosting recipes will typically call for higher quality and fresher ingredients, which often have more calories and fat. Typically, most store-bought buttercream frostings contain around 120 to 140 calories and 5 to 10 grams of fat per serving. Most store-bought whipped icings are 110 to 150 calories and 6 to 10 grams of fat per serving. Though whipped icing may contain less sugar than buttercream and no butter, it still contains ingredients that are high in fat and calories. Since whipped icing does not contain any butter or shortening, it has a hard time stabilizing. Whipped icing should always be refrigerated, whereas some buttercreams can be left at room temperature for a few days, though it should be stored in the fridge after that. Whipped icing can only last a couple of days in the fridge, whereas buttercream typically lasts a week. The buttercream will hold up better in warmer temperatures than whipped icing, but it will eventually begin to melt. Whipped icing may have less sugar than buttercream and not contain any butter, but it can still be full of fat and calories, sometimes even more than buttercream. But for those who are trying to eat less sugar, it can be a better choice. Though store-bought whipped icing may have fewer calories than homemade icing, it generally doesn't taste as good. It also may contain artificial flavors, preservatives, and ingredients that are less healthy than those in homemade whipped icing. Though whipped icing isn't necessarily healthier than buttercream, it can be a better choice for some people. It is important to read the nutrition label and ingredients of whipped icing and buttercream, so you know what you are consuming. This is especially important if you have any dietary restrictions or allergies. This will also allow you to determine what frosting is the best choice for you. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.